In this video, we're going to show you how you can use the web interface of your NVR or DVR to modify the resolution so that it can work with whatever monitor you are trying to use. For example, if you have a 1080p monitor or television, you're going to want to set the resolution to 1920 by 1080p or lower if your resolution does not support 1080p resolution. But we will elaborate on this later in the video. But for now, to get to the web interface of our NVR or DVR, we're first going to pull up our config tool or access the NVR using the default IP address. In this situation, our default IP address is 192.168.1.108, and this is the default from the factory. To demonstrate this, we're going to click refresh on our config tool. It brings it up and shows the same IP address. Now we can either click the Internet Explorer icon to bring up another Internet Explorer window, which automatically pulls up the web interface for our NVR, or we can go back over here to our blank internet browser and type in the IP address manually. And this also takes us to the login interface for the NVR. Now that we're at this interface, we can go ahead and log in with the default username and password. So I typed it in and hit enter, or you can click login. As you can see, we have the web interface of our NVR pulled up, and just to demonstrate, we have an IP camera here also connected, pointed at our monitor. And now we can go to the Setup tab to change the resolution on our system. So we go to Setup, and then System. And under this System, there is Display. And here we can set the see the current resolution is set to a 1280 by 1024. On most monitors, this resolution should work unless the monitor is older or the TV is older, in which case you would set it down to 1280 by 720p. So we're going to set it to 1280 by 720p. Click OK. It saves it. We come back over here to our preview. We can see the screen went black and then just came back up. And now it is set to 720p. Everything looks kind of larger on the screen. So now we're going to go back to Setup, under System, Display. We can see the other resolutions here. Now we know for a fact that our television or monitor can accept 1080p resolution, the 1920 by 1080p. If your television has a maximum of 1920 by 1080p, you will want to set it to this resolution. Then you click OK. Wait for it to say successfully saved. And we'll go back to our preview. Then it will switch it to the 1920 by 1080p resolution to work on our monitor or television. And last but not least, we can see the final option of 3840 by 2160 at 30 FPS. This is 4K resolution. You need to have a 4K monitor or 4K television to set it to this setting. And just for the sake of an example, we're going to click on it and click OK. Successfully saved. Now if we go back to our preview, we know that this television cannot take 4K resolution from our NVR. In which case, we'll blow this up. You can see up here that gray box is saying that the resolution is out of range. Most TVs will have some display error or some display error message when you have set it to a resolution that does not work on that television or monitor. It is very important that you do not set it to a resolution that will not work on your monitor. Otherwise, you'll never get a display. So we're going to set it back to 1920 by 1080p so that we know that it's set to a resolution that works on our monitor. So we go back here, and as you can see, we now have a display again. The gray box that was indicating that it was out of range is now gone, and everything works as necessary. So the easiest way to do this, again, is to access your web interface of your NVR, whether or not you use its default IP address or you use the config tool to open up Internet Explorer. You come in here, you go to Setup. Under Setup, you go to System, then Display, and set it to a resolution that you know will work with your monitor or television. Hopefully this video helps. Thank you for watching.